Welcome back. So, we have a basic base, but that's not going to be enough. For a start, pretty soon you're going to go insane with boredom eventually. And secondly, if we keep EVAing, that oxygen isn't going to last forever. So we're going to have to do some mining at some point, but first I would like to investigate these places that the owner told us about. So, firstly, let's fill this jetpack up with air. And now let's go outside, but first let's grab those 2 cans. Because we're going to do some mining while we're out here. Now remember, close the inner door, depressurize, helmets on, and wait. Now open the outer door, and go on out. Oh yeah, make sure you've got enough cans. I should have mentioned that part. Okay, unlock engineering, and let's power the ship on. Oh, we left the fabricator on. Sorry, that's my fault. Now unlock the main bridge. Now the first thing I would like to do is move this station to a higher orbit. Firstly to increase sun exposure, and secondly to make it harder for other people to find us, because not everyone is as friendly as... That's actually not a bad orbit, but let's... I've actually got plenty of sun exposure here, so maybe that's not going to be the best way, but we'll do it anyway. Now I still want a raised orbit like that so we can stay in exposure to the sun. Now we want to avoid getting too close to the planet, to that moon, so and we want to make it bigger than it was, otherwise there's not much point doing this. There, that should be far enough to miss both the moons. So, let's think, maybe. Okay, we shouldn't get too close from here, so let's warp to this new orbit. Now at the moment we're running on emergency warp, which doesn't use any of the warp cell but just uses the power. Now this is great for just getting somewhere and also for emergencies, but you won't be able to... Firstly, it will take forever, and secondly, you won't be able to carry much, so we're going to have to use warp 1. Now we want to keep the time generally as low as possible, but we want to make the warp time quite high because we need to give ourselves enough time to point at the maneuver node, and it's going to take a lot longer to turn when we're carrying this big heavy station. There we go, nice big orbit. Now, I probably have enough air in the station to pump air into this ship, but I've learned from experience that it's not generally a good idea to do that when you're travelling alone, because you get one hull breach and guess where all that air's going? So yeah, you'll end up just losing it otherwise. So until you've got massive surplus of air, or you've got someone with you to just stand by with a welder, it's probably not worth doing that. Because if you hit a debris field and you get a massive hole in the front canopy, and if you don't realise it and you're off doing something else, you're going to get back to find the ship completely empty. Okay, we have arrived at our new orbit. We have a nice big high orbit, plenty of sun exposure all the way around, and as you can see, we've brought the station with us. Now for what we want to do now, we don't want to bring the station with us, so see that lever over there? Go ahead and pull it. Can you guess what that's going to do? You should now see the station falling away from you. This is because we are no longer attached to it. But let's just give ourselves just a little bit of upward thrust just to get ourselves clear. Doesn't matter where, we just need to be clear of the station for when we do our next manoeuvre. We are going to check out Alp 7. Now normally, it is actually worth considering going into emergency warp if you've got plenty of time, because it doesn't use any of the warp cell, and warp cells are quite easy to replace. However, simply because because we're running on borrowed oxygen at the moment and we haven't got any air in the ship, then it's probably not a good idea to do that just yet. However, I don't want to be quite so close to the debris field, so I'm going to increase the time a bit so that it's clear of that field before we get there. Make sure we give ourselves plenty of time. And let's initialize. Right, that's going to go off in about 10 seconds. Remember to keep an eye on your oxygen and your RCS fuel. In the meantime, let's get the drill ready. So we need to put one of those canisters onto it, and we need the battery, and we need the drill bit. So that is going to take about 4 minutes. So now we play the waiting game. Okay, with less than a minute to go, let's get back into the chair. Remember, don't touch any of the thrusters until you're out of warp, otherwise you'll drop out in the middle of nowhere and then you'll have to make the jump again. You know, I'm sure time passes slower when you're sitting there waiting for things to happen. I want to know who called this place Hellion anyway. Okay. we are now a little closer to the asteroid than I would have liked. Can't actually see much. I can't actually see anything, but I can see the asteroid just there, so... Okay, I'm going to stop it here. Okay, grab the drill. Open the door. Probably going to need the light as well. And let's go mining. Actually, first we want to find out what's on that terminal. This is where your EVA skills are going to come in handy. Remember, if you want to stop moving in a direction, you have to apply counter thrust. See, there's those white nodes there are generally ice, and those big red ones, that's iron. Ooh, what have we here?
Burned after 6 minutes. I'm just horrible at this. I should have taken that engineering
That doesn't
course.
sound good.
Okay, let me see if I can fix this. Fried coupling and a blown amplifier. Well,
Okay, something wrong with this
okay, it's not
transmitter.
that bad. But I think I'll have to make another salvage run through Betty's scrapyard.
Oh, joy.
Note to
Okay.
self. Find spare rope cells before you end up stranded again. You got lucky last time.
Right, let's grab some resources while we're out here. Get the drill ready. Now bear in mind these vents occasionally, and you do not want to be standing too close to one when it does, so just get as close as you dare and start drilling. Let's fill this canister up with iron. you get too close, you'll end up wearing the drill bit out. There's not much iron in these nodes, is there? See, you can see one venting just there. Okay, that container is now full. So let's remove it. And put the other one on. Now I want you to fill this one with ice. Okay, that's it. Probably don't need the light anymore because it's just wasting battery. Yeah, we couldn't have gone much closer. Now, you probably noticed our oxygen is running low. It's not a problem yet, but that is why I bought cans. So let's close the door, get back inside, and let's put the drill back on the rack. Now grab one of those cans and open it. Okay. So let's get us out of here and back to the base. Again, put some distance between that just so that we're clear. And now let's return to our home station, and I think I'm going to use emergency warp. Simply because we've got plenty of time and I don't want to waste the cell. And that is not good because that's right by the asteroid. That's still too close to the asteroid than I would like it to be. And it doesn't help that I can't actually see it. This isn't normally a problem. Sorry, I'm being overcautious. I just want to make sure we're clear of that asteroid. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's far enough away to not be a problem actually, so yeah. In fact, yeah, it's not even in range anymore, so yep, let's go ahead and make the trip. While we do that, let's just grab that can off that drill, and in fact take the battery as well, because that's going to need recharging. The drill bit should be fine though, but the drill can stay in the ship. And also, I am going to put this in here, which I should have done before actually. It just improves the efficiency of the RCS thrusters. Now see how that warp cell is not quite as bright as it was? I can actually find out how much life it's got left in it. That one trip from our station to Alp 7 cost us that much of its general usability, so yeah, that's why it's good to use emergency warp sometimes. And you know what, I'm actually going to leave this here, just in case we ever need a military grade core for places where radiation is particularly high. And now, again, we play the waiting game. Okay, so you may have noticed that using emergency warp draws a lot more power from the capacitor than it does by using the cells. Again, it's good in certain situations, but sometimes if you haven't got time to wait for the capacitor to fully recharge, then you might be limited in your options. So it's definitely good to keep some warp cells handy. Unfortunately, I kind of don't have any more. But It looks like we're going to need some parts anyway, so we're going to need to do some salvaging. But in the meantime, let's just get this stuff back to the base and get it all refined. Remember, the red lines point in the direction that you're moving relative to the object. And never point directly at it, because otherwise you'll end up hitting it very hard. Right. Remember how to dock? Just get it lined up or as close as you can. Try to remove all directional movement. And then just let momentum do the rest. Okay, got both the cans. Let's get back into the station. Close the outer door. Pressurize. Once it gets to about 0.6 atmospheres, you can take your helmet off. And open the inner door. Right. First things first, refill the jetpack. Never forget to do that. I've done that before. It is not pleasant. Next things, let's unload these canisters. And now let's start refining stuff. Oh, and let's turn the ship off while we're at it, because I forgot to do that. Anyway, once that's all done, we're going to need to do some salvaging, so I'll get back to you when we're ready for that. So, see you in the next video. Bye now.